Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and we're going to be talking some truth, but at the same time, there are just headlines we are not going to be able to read on the YouTube platform. So what are we going to do? We'll show them. We'll show them in the background. We can't necessarily endorse any of them on this program, but there's also videos that we can't play on YouTube that we're going to play on this show. Wow, how are we going to do this? Well, it's called the magic of Rockfin. We're going to take this first 10 minutes of the program. We're going to go over some pretty, crazy headlines from the mainstream media, right? And the thing is that we have a thing called selective enforcement going on at YouTube. You know this is in your terms of service, YouTube, where certain channels and certain people are allowed to use certain terms, whereas Jason Burmis uses that term, and it could be medical misinformation, it could be cyberbullying, it could be any kind of Johnny nonsense that they want. And we're now 3 weeks away from maybe one of these strikes. These last two have been totally arbitrary from older videos. I hope they don't just do what they did last time, find a video from January 2020 and say I cyberbullied either Dead Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, maybe McGregor. And we got to be careful about that because we're going to talk Conor McGregor as he's speaking out against what's going on in the world, lockdowns and such. Let's just say that. I want to keep it pretty broad, but that doesn't mean he's a good person. And anybody who's watched my broadcast knows what I think of Conor McGregor and why I think about Conor McGregor. And we're going to show that evidence as well. But I don't know if that's forbidden at this point. Okay? So before we get going, thumbs it up, subscribe, and share if you're new to the channel, if you're just coming in because you've seen some Epstein information. I'll tell you what, you're going to see some information about some high-level sexual abuse of women in this and the cover-ups, too. We'll be able to do those headlines, kind of, sort of, maybe. We'll see. Okay, but on the YouTube side, we can do that. Make the free Rockfin account. When we go over to Rockfin, we're going to be talking about this family that really fought to save one of their family members' lives. You'll see the headline. We probably can't read the headline. But once again, when you see what shape this person was in the hospital and how hard this family had to fight just to save his life, well, you decide. You decide, all right? So I also want to remind people you can support me by donating to the GoFundMe. I haven't been pushing that a lot lately, but it would be much appreciated right now as everybody's watching the crypto crash. And, obviously I'd rather not have to cash out on how I make my living via Rockfin. So any donations there would be greatly appreciated, especially right now, because we all know crypto's coming back. We all know the dollar is down, down, down. We all know that inflation is very real at this point. Am I allowed to say that, YouTube? Am I allowed to talk about inflation? Is that the next thing that's going to be in the memory hole? And by the way, if you thought that we weren't going to talk about Homer Simpson, I was just putting him in the thumbnail. No, we're going to illustrate how The Simpsons, the irony of that one, is censoring itself from a censor joke. We'll get there. Odyssey, speaking of censorship, has backed up my entire YouTube channel, and I want to thank them for it. I do it all the time. Another great platform. And I want to remind everybody, if you haven't seen my documentary films and you're new to this whole deal, Loose Change, Final Cut, and Fabled Enemies are absolutely integral to understanding 9/11 and our current geopolitical situation, period. Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture take it to the next level and now kind of bridge the gap from what actually happened on 9/11, okay? What happened before, what happened after, and now as it's into COVID-19 84. And here we go with COVID-19 84. Probably can't read this headline. Alls we'll say are that cases are surging in the 5 most boop states. Wow. Really? Just surge rageous. Surge rageous. And by the way, Bill de Blasio today announced, still the mayor of New York City on his way out, but announced, you know what? You want to go to restaurants? You want to go to venues? Guess what? It's probably time that we mandate boosters. We haven't done it yet, but I'm just letting you know. It's boost, baby. So again, a headline right there. Probably can't read it word for word because, I don't know if the World Health Organization agrees with that. If I wait on the World Health Organization, I could be waiting on the post-truth world, right? Because when they say sex abuse scandals, it's child sex abuse scandals, and it's child sex abuse scandals by the World Health Organization from 2018 to 2020. While they're enforcing their dictates, right? And we know that, listen, YouTube is very open on who runs what you can and cannot say on this platform, World Health Organization. So I'm glad, I guess, I should be thankful that people that continually enable the sexual abuse of children and get caught, because this is not the first scandal, although it's the largest. It's weird you're not hearing that everywhere. They're sorry, though, okay? I'm beholden to them. So again, I'm not sure if that's WHO approved. Let's get into the next one. The Pfizer lobby is trying to thwart the whistleblowers from exposing corporate fraud. Wow. You really? Is that correct? I wonder if that has anything to do, with this BMG headline that we probably can't read. Something researcher blows the whistle on data integrity issues in Pfizer's what trial? Uh-oh. By the way, we're going to be getting into that. Gateway Pundit has a big story. It looks like in the first dump of those documents, again, we'll show you that headline. I can't read it here. Make the free Rockfin account. Get ready to come on over. Because we're going to be playing some hardcore videos too. Hardcore videos. So this is where we're at in America as well. And it's not just cartoons and jokes. All right. Although this is just so ironic and represents everything right now. So Tiananmen Square, right? So you're in Tiananmen Square on The Simpsons. They make a joke. Okay. It's season 16, episode 12, Goo Goo Guy Pan. And they basically said, nothing happened here. Nothing happened at Tiananmen Square. People weren't killed here. No. We were always at war with Eurasia. What are you talking about? And now Disney Plus has removed that from Hong Kong's streaming service. And if you think that the plan isn't to not only remove things like that, it's not just going to be from the Hong Kong service. If they get their way, it will be globally, because this is a global deal. All right. And people like Klaus Nutschwab, okay, have told you on video that China will be in the leadership role of their Great Reset agenda, of their fourth industrial revolution. Not here. Not happening. And, here's how it started. Dana White reveals he and his family have tested positive for you-know-what. Not going to read it. Attacked by the media because, oh my goodness, he took the advice of Joe Rogan. He took apparently some horse medication. I don't know if that's the case. I'm guessing that's because that's what Brian Stelter tells me. The monoclonal antibodies, and it's so odd that he's already tested negative in 5 days. Look at that miracle. 5-day timeline. You know what? I don't know if the World Health Organization agrees with that negative test. So, whoa. Can't talk about that. It's just, why would you want to talk about something like that? Jason, that's nutty. That's out of the realm. Oh, is it? Yeah. So again, the media just completely ignored this story. Completely ignored it. And again, they love you so much. And when I say they, I mean the media, your government, the World Health Organization, that, we're having such success with their treatments that 5-day turnaround, I mean, that's kind of, So this is the headline. Illinois family credits apparently horse medication with saving the life of father hospitalized when you see how bad this guy was and how hard they tried to fight. This is the one we're going to play on the other side, okay? And there's just a couple articles we're going to read on the other side. And since we were just talking about Joe Rogan and we were talking about Dana White, now is the time to talk about the fact that there is a plethora of evidence out there, and there's currently a lawsuit being handled in this country after criminal charges were not brought against him in Ireland, despite the fact that the accuser denied monetary compensation to shut her mouth, that Conor McGregor is a violent, brutal serial rapist. And you would think that Disney, Mickey Mouse, people that are invested heavily in ESPN, own ESPN, not invested heavily, come on, and obviously ESPN partnering with the UFC and the Me Too movement and how concerned everybody is about these things, people would know that. Well, we're going to go over that evidence in a second. But he was trending, and they tried to they usually love on Twitter when Conor McGregor trends. It gets into like the hundreds of thousands of tweets at times, sometimes millions, of course, if there's an actual fight going on. This one, I think it was like a 10,000. Forcing anyone to inject something into their body they do not wish is abhorrently wrong. I am not against the boops. I am against not having the choice. God bless those who think otherwise. And then he says he's with Ireland's 9th and current serving president, Michael D. Higgins. Now, again, there is no hero worship for this guy if you know about this channel at all. At all. But I wanted to point out how this story is being suppressed, okay, because it's all about selling him as a fighter and a family man. And it's funny to me because they may just burn him. Like, if that got too big, if you don't think they're going to burn him, when this is just the thread. And you know what? We're going to put this thread in the YouTube links because anyone can follow me over at Jason Burmis. But check this thread out, okay? And let me just read one of the articles. At the end of the day, there is no doubt that this young lady suffered a horrendous ordeal. The examinations and all the evidence shows that she was, oh, wow, and very badly assaulted in that penthouse suite. Well, look at that. Oh, that's just one story, Jason. Just keep going. Okay, this is a thread. Headline: Mom accused Irish sports star of rape was found battered and bruised. Discussing the statements made by others. This is law enforcement. These statements are hugely detailed and complex and go into the minute detail of every aspect on the night of the attack. I mean, I could keep going. CCTV footage before and after the fact, eyewitnesses, WhatsApp messages leaked between journalists and people investigating the case. Everybody denied that it was McGregor who was the Irish sports star because the details were so horrific, including in these WhatsApp messages that she was anally raped after she was vaginally raped and she was on her period. So she had to have a tampon that was rammed up her cervix, surgically removed. I don't want to cyberbully anybody, but you're not going to hear this anywhere, okay? And this represents the post-truth world that we live in. And that from somebody like him who's making people billions of dollars, a lot of people are making money on McGregor, okay? Whiskey, Proper 12, Reebok was making money on him. There's a lot of people out there making money on him. Disney, ESPN, the UFC. That's why this doesn't come out. This is a minute amount of money compared to what's going on via COVID-1984. And that's why we had this request. And guys, I want to show you this. It's a headline from the Gateway Pundit. Court orders FDI to comply with FOIA request and releases information on the Pfizer you-know-what. First batch of documents shows, whoa, I can't read that. I can't read that. They will kick me off. And to illustrate that if I just type in Gateway Pundit Pfizer into the news section, it's all fact check, claim, and they're not even at that point because this is, I believe this is today. Or I'm sorry, no, it is 2 days ago. So they're fact checking already. USA Today says that story is false. That story is false. Thank you, USA Today. It doesn't even list the Gateway Pundit story. You notice how that's delisted? What else do you say? So here's the deal, folks. I need you to thumbs it up, subscribe, share, but make the free Rockfin account. I'm playing this video on the flip side. It's not about left or right. It's always about right and wrong. Bring the heat on everybody here. I don't play team baseball. I need everybody to start becoming the great resistance to this very real great reset agenda And if you enjoy my content, the links are down below to support me. YouTube, we'll see you on the flip side. Rockfin, we will continue